My name is Jagriti Jaiswal, and I'm truly honored to stand before you as an host of this extraordinary talk show. This is our third episode of ABC Conclave's exclusive talk shows, and it is a part of ABC Conclave, the world's largest Web3 conclave, said to be the most prestigious conference in Dubai, scheduled on 7th and 8th of October at Dubai World Trade Center. This is an extraordinary event, combines gaming and esports tournament, a vibrant music festival, a captivating cosplay, attracting a diverse audience of over 20,000 plus attendees from across the globe. To know more about the event, visit our website www.abcconclave.com for more information. The talk show are the part of pre-event activity. Today's talk show will shine a bright spotlight on incredible achievement of women who have not only carved their path but are also catalyzing the transformation within the dynamic industry. Our focus for today's episode is crypto accelerating women. Our panelists are exceptional and their accomplishments serve a testament to the limitless past possibilities that exist within crypto. They are trailblazers, thought leaders, and advocates for more inclusive crypto community. Each of them brings unique experiences, insights, and perspective that have the power to show the crypto landscape for generations to come. Throughout this session, we aim to uncover the stories behind these inspiring women, understand the challenges they have overcome, and explore their vision for more diverse and inclusive crypto ecosystem. So sit back, engage your curiosity, and be prepared to inspire as we explore the frontier of technology and creativity. Our speakers are ready to share their insights, experiences, and prediction about the future of Web3 and blockchain. If the audience have any questions for our speaker, please feel free to write them on chat. We'll try to take a few questions if time allows. Without a further ado, let us embrace the discussion, connect with the speakers who hail from Australia, India, London, and Toronto. Let's welcome Joanna Ete. She's a founder of Flus, who has harnessed the blockchain potential to drive innovation. Joanna Ete, a graduate of management engineering from the University of Waterloo, is a co-founder of Flus, a B2B crypto payment and settlement solution targeting the MENA region. Alongside her role at Flus, Joanna established Local, a Cardano stake pool with a mission to integrate blockchain technology in the MENA region. Furthermore, as a co-founder of Cardano MENA community, Joanna is committed to fostering decentralized governance and contributing towards optimal solution for self-organizing system. With her work, Joanna seeks to reimagine societies and unlock untapped potential and provide inclusive opportunity to those who need them the most. We welcome you to the show, Joanna.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Our next panelist is Reed Batra. Reed Batra is a developer relationship manager at ZKX who is fiercely committed to fostering blockchain adoption. Reed is a programmer with a strong can do attitude and a passion for problem solving. She has experience with Web3, gaming, Rust, and zero knowledge. Reed is
Hi.
open to mentors, guides, and co founder to upskill her network and contribute to her career. She is open to learning new skills, collaborating on projects, and participating in hackathons. She is open to tips on Web3 development, personal branding, and startup launch. We welcome you to the show, Reed.
Hi everyone, pleasure to be here.
Pleasure is all ours. Extremely honored to have our next panelist. Meet Kathleen August, founder and lead organizer of Crypto Mondays London, whose dedication to community building is changing the game. Kathleen, a pioneer blockchain and decentralized technologies, founded Crypto Mondays London in 2017. She has transformed the platform into a hub of knowledge and networking, contributing to the growth of crypto community. Kathleen also serves as head of event for Kudos and NIM, a layer 1 blockchain solution and layer 0 privacy platform, fostering community building and networking. Her expertise in Web3 events has solidified her reputation as an expert in fostering collaboration and innovation in the Web3 industry. We welcome you to the show, Kathleen. Moving on to our next panelist, Susan Benyangi. Susan Menyengi is a founder of Crypto Women Global, a visionary leading the charge in promoting women's active participation in crypto. Susan is a crypto education ambassador, women's financial independence advocate, and social impact advocate. She's working on educating 1 million women to invest in innovative wealth creation opportunities and fund social impact projects. Susan specializes in promoting sustainability practices to help navigate the digital third revolution and create more democratized societies. She is a sought after consultant to global brands in China, a serial entrepreneur with 20 plus years of project management and international marketing experience. She's a global executive based in Sydney and speaks fluent French, Hungarian, German, Italian, and Cantonese. We welcome you to the show, Susan.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Our insightful talk show is moderated by Varuni Trivedi. Varuni, editor in chief at Voice of Crypto, and Web3 crypto and blockchain professional with extensive experience on chain analysis and marketing. With over 2,500 industry recognition, she is committed in advancing the Web3 industry and fostering a collaborative community. She has built and managed high performing team and throughout her career. So let us explore the crypto exhilarating women. Our panelists are ready and their stories are waiting to inspire you. Let the conversation begin. Over to you, Varun.
Thank you for the amazing introduction, Jagriti. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to all our guests today. Thank you for having me conduct this show. It's a great honor to be on the ABC's Connecting Talk Show. Esteemed guests, crypto enthusiasts from around the globe, a very warm welcome to the show, Crypto Accelerating Women. I am, like Jagriti mentioned, Varuni Trivedi, your moderator for this engaging and very inspiring conversation today. Let's hope. In this world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, diversity and inclusivity are no longer just buzzwords. They are and they have to be the driving forces of innovation and progress. And today we're here to delve into a fascinating discussion about the women who are making their mark, breaking barriers, and accelerating the crypto space. We will be fortunate to hear from a panel of distinguished experts, most of whom Jagriti introduced right about now. Each of our guests bring a unique perspective, experience, and expertise on the table. Together, they represent the dynamism and potential of women in this rapidly evolving industry. These remarkable women are not only shaping the future of blockchain and Web3, but also inspiring countless others to follow their footsteps. And today we will explore their journeys, insights, and the vision for their future. So, we will be shedding light on immense potential for women in the crypto, blockchain, and Web3 space. And I know while we keep on calling the space cryptocurrency space or crypto space, I would like to say that this is not just the crypto space, this is the Web3, blockchain, and crypto space, with crypto sort of coming towards the end and the other two preceding. So, without further ado, let's dive into this insightful session. And I will begin by asking questions. I think, Reed, if you would like to go first, I have an amazing question for you. Uh, how have you seen the landscape change for women in the crypto and blockchain industry over the last few years?
Yeah, so I think over the past few years, I have observed a notable shift myself in the landscape for women, especially in the blockchain and crypto industry. While it still remains predominantly male dominated, there has been a growing recognition of the importance of diversity and inclusion for women and even other genders like LGBTQ. I would say that initiatives like Women in Blockchain and various mentorship programs have emerged and they have created a space for women to connect, learn, and lead. Moreover, I feel like contributing to projects like women like myself have been actively contributing to technical projects and in technical roles across different blockchain platforms. These are some changes that kind of reflect like a positive trajectory towards a more balanced and inclusive industry.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I sort of have the same question for you, Caitlin. When you started Crypto Mondays back in London in 2017, from then to now, times have changed drastically. And while it's just 5 years, I'm sure that crypto Web3 years aren't measured in normal years. I mean, we've seen the industry shift so much, just in terms of standalone events, be it the rise and fall of some of the top institutions in the space, or just the end number of bull and bear markets that we've had. How have you seen the landscape change, especially for women?
It's really funny because when I first started doing meetups in London, it was literally me and three, maybe two or three men sitting around like crypto bros talking about Bitcoin. And now our events are, I'd say, roughly about 45% female. And so that has been a massive thing for me just to witness. I think there is just an increased participation across the board in terms of female developers, founders, investors, just becoming more involved. And then just to sort of, go off of what Reet said as well, women sort of running companies and sort of being in these leadership roles, I think is really important to see, sort of leading by example. And then, of course, the education and awareness. So there are a lot of like initiatives that encourage education, which I also think has helped to change the landscape massively.
Absolutely. My next question would be to you, Joanna, and please correct me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong. Is Did I get your name correct?
No, it's
What initiatives or programs do you believe have the potential to significantly increase the representation of women in blockchain, Web3, and crypto sector? And while Reed and Caitlin both spoke about quite a few initiatives that have taken place, or programs that we have witnessed in this space, that there's still some gaps to fill. So, are you aware of any initiatives or programs, or do you believe that there are any upcoming programs or initiatives that have the potential to increase the representation of women in the space?
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's very unique about this space is this opportunity for a lot of community members to come along with a purpose that's actually verifiable and trusted. So we're going to see a lot more of these DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, coming about with the main focus of just empowering women, whether it's for mentoring, funding, just education and whatnot. So a lot of DAOs like A Thousand Faces in the Middle East. There's Noon DAO, All Stars Women. So we're going to see a lot of more of these initiatives or applications, let's call them, that it will be just particularly aimed at empowering women in the space. As well, we see a lot of women-led projects like NFT projects, with the utility of just also empowering women and bringing them together, or stake pools, for example, as well. So a lot of these initiatives with the main goal of empowering women and funding women in a way that's actually trusted and verifiable, and in a way that we know actually happens, which is very interesting in this space. But we're also starting to see a lot more female founder specific funds, which is very interesting, especially for Web3 startups. I think that um, is a huge shift as well, and we're going to see a lot more involvement in that respect. And then just a lot of mentorship programs, I think. This is not new, but we're going to also, I think we're starting to see a lot more of those specifically for Web3 and crypto adoption.
Absolutely, and we cannot stress more upon the importance of education, mentorship, and my next question to you, Susan, would be somewhere around that itself. How important do you think, Susan, is education and raising awareness and bridging the gender gap within the Web3 space? And this gender gap is something that we've spoken about for not just decades, centuries now. And earlier it persisted in the tech space, IT space, and now we see the same sort of gaps in the Web3 space. So, how important do you think is education and awareness to bridge this?
Oh, I think it's very, very important. As Caitlin said, when I attended my first crypto conference back in 15, 16, out of 800 attendees, I was the only woman attending. And luckily, the men that I've, or the men that I've been involved with in the crypto space are very, very supportive, and very encouraging. So I think that should be said. And I don't think that without their help or participation and encouragement, I think it would be a much harder road. So that's a nice aspect. But the women I speak to mostly, they have this enormous fear and resistance, whether it's tech related or finance related. And so I think education and having someone show you the way and take some of that fear and anxiety away, I think is going to go very far in bringing more and more women into the space.
Absolutely, and without a doubt, education and awareness has to be key towards this sort of movement that we're really optimistic about. Uh,
Mm.
Caitlin, this space is predominantly male dominant, and we have spoken about it. Susan said she was one of the only female attendees at this conference she attended, and you almost single handedly started off your talk show with very few to no women attending it, and now I'm sure it is relatively female dominated. But initial in your initial days, what sort of strategies did you find effective for promoting diversity and inclusion? And being a woman yourself in this male dominated space, what were some of the strategies that you sort of took up to carve a niche for yourself? And we would also love some suggestions or tips and tricks that you can give to other women.
So I think that's a great question. And I think personally, I'll kind of go back to what I said before, just leading by example. So I think I am a woman running a meetup, I'm fostering a community. So I have a responsibility to make sure that I put women front and center. I think it helps that I am a woman running it. So therefore, I can appoint women in, sort of front facing roles on the team. I make sure that for every panel or talk or anything that I curate, that there are women speaking. You will never see a manel at Crypto Mondays. Never. All male panel. There's nothing worse. So I think that that's one of the first things as well. I think encouraging women to get involved, to be educated, because I think there is this, as Susan sort of said, this kind of intimidation or this fear of asking questions. Sorry, something just happened. So I think it's important to feel empowered. And so I worked very hard to make it a safe space for women to come, and there's no dumb questions. There's nothing you can ask that we won't answer or encourage. And then I think as well, sort of mentorship. So being able to offer a hand up or a seat at the table, just encouraging participation, involvement, and um, allowing people to forge their own path within the industry. I also think it's really helpful that there are so many initiatives. So I make sure to partner with other groups that are very specific to women. There's a couple in London, like Women in Blockchain Talks, and there's a founders club specific to women. Also, the Bigger Pie that is into getting women into CEO positions and leadership roles. So all of those that are also doing similar, they have aligned sort of principles. I make sure that we partner with them to support them as well.
Amazing initiative. I have the same question for you, Reith. You are on the tech side of Web3, and it wouldn't be wrong to say that the tech side is sort of still predominantly male dominated. And what were the strategies that you sort of adopted apart from education and writing the ask and asking the right questions? What were the other things that you sort of did to make your name in this space?
Yeah, I think I would like to cover two things. One, like as Catelyn said, she mentioned some communities that she were a part of in London, especially in India. We also have a lot of female centric blockchain devs community. Like there's a community called TPG, the Phoenix Guild, that I'm actively a part of. In fact, I would like to say that my technical journey in blockchain started with that community. I found a lot of both male and female mentors who helped me throughout the journey. And mentorship and power of communities are two key things that any woman or any even a male needs to start in a very new, basically, industry. So support and guidance is what they really need, because awareness is something that is growing as we grow more in the industry.
And Joanna, can you share some instances where being a woman in the crypto Web3 space presented with unique challenges and opportunities? I mean, challenges, there are plenty, I'm sure, but what are some of the great opportunities that you came across being a woman in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. Challenges, I'd say I've maybe been lucky not to have experienced extreme challenges. I think it's kind of interesting how a lot of these challenges kind of transpire to becoming opportunities. One big challenge for me, though, being a founder as a woman, was fundraising. I didn't come across a lot of female investors. I couldn't be connected with a lot of female investors. So that was really tough. I mean, out of like, let's say 100 pitches, there was two women that I spoke to. So that was a challenge in itself. But then also, I think this is not unique to crypto, and I'm sure everyone will experience this. And Susan and Caitlin touched on this. Is just often being the youngest, but also the only woman in the room.
Mhm.
And that was difficult in the sense that I have to force my presence, speak louder, and just try to be heard. But this was kind of an interesting shift. Like, it gave me thick skin, and I think what's so interesting about this space is it's open, it's decentralized, it's not like in any traditional setting where you have to be vetted, you have to be included. You can just go in, and I think this is a great opportunity for women to show up. I know it's difficult because you might think, there's not a lot of people that I can relate to, and there's not a lot of women here, but if we just bypass that step, I think this is what's so unique about Web3 is its openness, and its support from the woman that comes from it, from the inside. So I think that was one of my biggest opportunities in crypto is just this open nature of I like this topic, I like this community. I'm just gonna go ahead in and contribute and make my presence. So that was, I think, for me, what was very unique about Web3 and its opportunities.
Really inspiring. I have the same question for you, Susan. I'm sure you came across your own set of challenges, which, like Joanna very beautifully said, that some of the challenges turned or transformed themselves into opportunities.
Mm.
So, what were some of your greatest challenges and opportunities in this space?
Yes, I found exactly the same thing that, finding yourself the only woman in a huge room of men is a little bit intimidating. But as I said before, I was very fortunate. Most of the men that I've met have been extremely encouraging and supportive. And through them, many opportunities have come about to speak at conferences, interviews such as this one, co-hosting workshops or courses or even retreats. So many opportunities. I think this is the wild frontier, even though I've been in this space since 2015, which is quite a while now. It still very much feels like a wild frontier. So like traveling to the West was 200 years ago in America. It's if you can overcome your fear of the challenges and the unknown, so many opportunities are there to be found, and created even. If it's not there, just make it. you know, just get together with some people, and if you find something missing or there's a gap somewhere, just create it. It's a wonderful, wonderful time and space.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Caitlin, what sort of inspired you to get involved in the crypto and Web3 space and advocate women's participation and leadership? Because initially, when you must have stepped into this space, I'm sure it was like we spoke about a male dominated space. And I'm sure one of the reasons would be that there are no women. I'm sure you must have thought of taking the lead. But if you could just share your story, what were your key inspirations? Uh, yeah.
Well, just kind of going off what like Susan and Joanne said is that this idea that we don't have to do things the way that we did in Web 2. We get to kind of start over. So we don't have to bring that elitism with us. We can leave the doors open and we can not gate this information. And that's what I love about this like decentralized idea that you can find the information everywhere. And it's also this idea that I didn't feel so left behind with the Web 2 kind of Silicon Valley, the whole internet thing, part of it's my age as well. But I just felt very kind of always playing catch up. Whereas here with Web 3, and even like Susan, you're considered an absolute veteran of the spaces if you've been in since 2015. For me, 2017, 2018, I still feel like a little bit behind, but it's this idea that we kind of got in early, right? So that all these exciting opportunities, all the potential that exists, all the innovations that exist in this industry were there and we're kind of on the ground, and that's really exciting, I think, too. So that was hugely inspiring for me too when I started researching about just everything about, back then we said crypto as the catch-all term, but everything in the Web3 space. All I could think of was how exciting it was and how I wanted to get involved and I wanted to learn. So that was massively inspirational to me, as well as, of course, as everyone said, attending events and just seeing tons of men and thinking, again, we don't have to do it this way. We get a chance to redo it. So let's do it properly. Let's include everybody. And again, not just women, but LGBTQ, everything. Let's get everybody involved and let's onboard as much as possible. Onboarding to me is a really important part of that process so that we do see more women on stage and at conferences and at meetups and as leaders in the space. So I feel very passionate about that.
Absolutely. Susan, my next question would be to you. What are some of the important things that women should keep in mind when we ourselves try to bridge the gender gap in our industry? We've spoken about the importance of education and raising awareness, attending more events, having your own communities, and not being fearful to ask the right questions or even the wrong ones sometimes, I feel. So,
Mm.
what are some of the other things that can be kept in mind?
I think one of the most encouraging, even comforting aspects of the women that come to me or that I get involved with is this sense of community. I think there's an extremely strong sense of community within the crypto space, that we are really creating something together, creating the future, if you will, together, which is inspiring. And that women can come together and not feel excluded, but feel that they are part of something important. And the more knowledge that they gain and the more comfortable they are in asking questions, even silly questions, even though there's no silly questions. And I think as they get more and more comfortable with that, that encourages other women to come forward as well. So I think it's really important to remember that yeah, the sense of community is very strong, I find, and the sense that we are co-creating something of great value.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Um, we have seen how women sort of feel belonged around other women, and there are quite a few qualities that women possess that I would like to think men don't. And what are some of those key qualities or skills that, Reeth, my next question is to you, that women bring to the table that drive innovation and success in the crypto Web3 space?
I think we all come with diverse perspectives and experiences that we bring to each table. And one key strength that is kind of required in, especially in the crypto industry, and that women also bring, is adaptability. We often have excel skills in like adapting to new technologies and navigating complex ecosystems. We have been taught to adapt to newer changes in life as we grow, which is, I guess, crucial in rapidly evolving crypto industry. Things are changing every day. So that is why additional skills, as a tech person in the industry, I believe that any tech skills can be easily learned and acquired, as long as we have enough resources and support from community, which is getting bigger and bigger in the crypto space as we pass each month. So communication and collaborative skills are again essential to evolve in any role that you are bringing in. And I feel like the key difference between web 2 and web 3 that we are seeing is we are fostering a lot of innovation in web 3 space. So even with adaptability, a little bit more of creativity is something that we need to bring on the table to challenge ourselves to basically break on new things. And we bring a lot of voices to the table and a well-rounded and creative solution. That is the goal. We are aiming towards a space that we as women can contribute towards a more holistic and innovative approach in this crypto environment.
Absolutely, and we do hope for the same optimistic future where equality is the name of the game. Joanna, my next question is to you. While there are a lot of opportunities, challenges as well, but quite a few opportunities in the space for women, from a broader perspective, if we step away from the entire narrative, how can we as an industry collectively work to overcome unconscious biases and create a more inclusive environment? Because this goes without saying that there are still a lot of biases associated with women in the tech space. And if you look at the statistics, the number of men in the space versus the number of women or other genders is still a lot more. So, what can we as an industry do, and how can we contribute towards a more equal space, so to say?
I think this is a very important question. I think we're still very early, and as we shift into this digital era and we shift the social structures that are built, we need to focus on, because we're building those foundational layers, those protocols, that all of these new applications and opportunities are going to be built on top of. So, as an industry, we need to be extra cognizant of the governance mechanisms that we're baking into these protocols and into these um, foundational layers. We need to set standards and create frameworks that, for these governance mechanisms that ensure and that are designed in a way that is inclusive. And this goes beyond just gender equality. And thanks to this technology, and I've mentioned this before, we have capabilities of verification like we never did before. So now we can make decisions, we can shift from making decisions based on gender and race and ethnicity, but we have things like merit, contribution, engagement, holding power, all of these new things that we can base decisions and inclusion on top of. And I think that's very disruptive and it's very interesting. So we just need to be cognizant when we're building those applications, when we're building these communities, when we're building those protocols to make sure that we're baking these governance mechanisms that are inclusive for gender, minorities, people of all backgrounds, countries with no access, things like that. And I think from my own experience, something that I've um, found very helpful when entering these communities and working with people from all backgrounds is having this sort of facilitator moderator role. And this is something we can start with as an industry, is just having this person that's making sure, we're giving a space for everyone to be involved, we're making sure every voice is being heard in the room. And then on top of that, obviously just educating. Both male and female need to work very well together on educating how we both work, teaching each other. Some people are more passionate, some people are more emotional, some people are quieter, and this goes across the room. So, um, yeah, I think these are just things to start, and I'm sure with time, uh, we'll see
Absolutely.
a lot more.
Really great points, all of those. Finally, this question is for all the ladies out here today, and I think we'll start with you, Susan. What advice or message would you like to share with aspiring women who are looking to enter or advance in the crypto, blockchain, and Web3 space, basis your experience, expertise, and insights?
Possibly the best advice I could give would be to just not be afraid. Just take baby steps, and you'll see that it's not really that scary. And once you find your feet a little bit, you'll find all these opportunities and all these welcoming people and such exciting projects everywhere that you quickly get wrapped up into the hype, and your fears just sort of fall away. So just take baby steps, and you'll really get to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Reith, your 2 cents on this.
I think don't afraid to reach out to other women first of all for mentorship and guidance. Like my LinkedIn DMs are always open if anyone in case needs guidance in whatever way I can help. And second thing is we talked about how women are afraid of asking silly questions, And we all know that we all keep saying that no question is silly, please ask your questions, but that never really happens. Even I am afraid to ask silly questions to my manager or in workspaces. So what I would say is join women focused communities. One of them is Surge that I mentioned. It's an NFT gated communities. There's Developer DAO Women, and there's TPG that is a free community to join. Join women focused communities and ask questions without the fear of judgment. Uh, so yeah.
Absolutely. Caitlin, what do you have to say on that?
Completely agree with everything that's been said so far. And I would also say if there isn't something in your area, if there's not a meetup, or if you have an idea for a project, do start your own. You don't have to wait around. You don't have to get permission, validation, any of that. You can start your own. And there are loads of initiatives out there as well in terms of funding projects specifically for women, female CEOs. I can, again, like Reed said, reach out to me if you want to. My LinkedIn is open. Happy to help anybody, but I'm a big advocate of just doing it yourself.
Yeah. Joanna, what do you have to say?
I agree with everything everyone has mentioned. As well, my DMs are always open, and like I said before, this is an open place. You just have to go ahead and first. I know it's difficult, I know it's hard, but really that's the only way to do it. And I really like what you said about reaching out to other women. I'm constantly trying to connect with other women and just being overexcited that there's more women in this space, and I think that's very empowering. Um, and as well, yeah, just don't be afraid. Every perspective is useful, especially with Web3. It's decentralized. It's supposed to be this way. There's no silly question. There's no silly opinion. Every perspective is going to be useful one way or another. And I think once that registers in your head, it's empowering in itself. And no one really knows everything about anything, so
Yeah.
it's fine. You just have to try.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with what all you lovely ladies said, and these were some really inspiring points and a really insightful session indeed. And to add on to that, I would say that the center of the idea of decentralization is equality for all men, women, other genders, and uh, taking the first step is often the most difficult one, and after that, you're all good to go. And you have to take that first step to that would count on to the many hundreds of steps that you take. So, on that inspiring note, I would transfer. I would, I think, give the mic to Jagriti. Please go ahead. And of course, my doors are always open for all the women out there. And we do run a podcast, a website, and I'm proud to say that over 60% of the people working in our company are women, and this is a relatively rare phenomena in the Web3 space. Proud of all the women here, and wishing all the women all the very best. And hopefully, this journey would be as smooth as it is has been for all of us. All yours, Jagriti.
Thank you so much, Varuni. So, as we wrap up this enlightening talk show, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to all the esteemed panelists who joined us today: Joanna Etty, Reed Batra, Kathleen August, Susan Banhegi, and Varuni Trivedi for conducting this amazing talk show. Thank you all for sharing your valuable insights and perspective discussed. And the visionary ideas presented had undoubtedly expanded our understanding of the dynamic landscape of blockchain and Web3. I would like I would also like to express our gratitude to all the delegates who have joined us today. We hope that today's talk show has provided you a valuable knowledge, thought-provoking ideas, and deeper understanding. I can see we have a few questions from audience. As we have limited time, I would also like to ask the panelists, if you guys don't mind, if we can address a few questions to you. It is from audience. If you guys don't mind, I can just read out all those questions, and anyone from you guys can just answer those questions. So, the first question is there gender equality of still crypto is a men's business?
I mean, I think we can all agree that there isn't gender equality. There's definitely a gender bias, absolutely, or we wouldn't be here having this conversation. But I certainly wouldn't say that crypto is a men's business. I think it's anyone's business who wants to get involved. So That's my kind of immediate response to that.
Mhm. My response to that is, at the very beginning of my journey, it gave me great comfort to read the original Bitcoin white paper, and also a couple of books by Andreas Antonopoulos, who really made the point that Bitcoin itself, and by extension the crypto space, has a lot of female qualities. These qualities of inclusion, of cooperation, these are traditionally female characteristics. And that gave me great comfort. And I think, despite the outnumbering, let's call it, still of men to women, those characteristics are fundamental to the space. And so I think that should be encouraging to any woman who is thinking or is afraid of joining, because you are actually coming into an atmosphere of cooperation and yeah, working together.
Cool. Thank you so much, Susan. So, another question is, do you think women are the better crypto investors?
While I'm not sure if women are better crypto investors, I'm pretty sure women are better investors, better financiers, and can do budgets much better than. There's no comparisons, but they can do much better than people think that they would. And
Mm.
I would like the traditional bias to play here for once. While we discard all the traditional biases, here is one bias that I sort of think is valid. I mean, women be taking the roles of mothers, wives, or daughters have had the privilege of financing throughout the month, or budgeting and investing in the right places, or saving for those rainy days. So I do feel that women have an edge in terms of investing. And when it comes to crypto, I mean, who knows? Crypto is so volatile. Men, women both struggle equally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Varuni.
I think that's also a little bit of a dangerous kind of question in a way, because it kind of digs into, there's some nuance there, right? Like, what are women better at because we've had to be, because we live in a patriarchal society, so we've had to become better at certain things. But
Mm.
what is learned and what is, sort of occurring naturally? So I think there's kind of a deeper question there, and it's kind of a little dangerous, I think, to um, generalize genders. But yeah, just my thoughts.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kathleen, for adding up to it. So, our next question is, how can a young crypto enthusiast navigate and thrive in the dynamic environment? Anyone?
I think one thing that you could do is just whatever you're interested in, whatever topic or subject you're interested in, just go search for an online community, Telegram, Discord, join, and then ask all the questions there and go from there. It's very hard to get lost in the noise as well. So always try to verify the people that you're talking to and the spaces that you're in. But the beautiful thing is it's open. You can join whenever you want. You can ask any question that you want, and then from there, and yeah, just just try.
Thank you so much, Joanna. That was such a wonderful insight. We are unable to accommodate any further questions at this time, and we must conclude the session. We hope you found the talk show insightful and informative. If you have any further questions and you would like to continue the conversation, please do not hesitate to contact us through our website and social media platforms. We look forward to having you back on our next talk show. Our next talk show will be on changing the landscape of DeFi, GameFi, NFT, and Metaverse. Follow us on social media to know more about our talk shows and the updates about our event that is happening on 7th and 8th of October at Dubai World Trade Center. Until we meet again on the horizon of innovation, thank you for joining us today and goodbye. This is your host, Jagrati, signing off.